In this episode of Show Us Your Golf Simulator, David talks us through his impressive Foresight GC3 DIY build. He's an absolute character and has some interesting tips and advice that should get you thinking about how to build your very own home golf simulator. Okay, David, welcome to the Handicap Golf channel, and thank you very much for agreeing to showcase your amazing home golf simulator setup with us all. Can you please tell everybody whereabouts in the world you are from, and how long have you owned a golf simulator?
Hi, Mitch. Thanks very much. Thanks for having me. I have had a simulator now for a year, and I'm in the GTA, the Greater Toronto area, on the east side, so Toronto.
Very nice.
Canadian. Good day.
So what made you get into simulator golf, David?
The complete and utter shutdown of society and the lockdown. So I might as well build a golf simulator / movie theater and, have fun with that. At least you'll have something to do, a project, something to have fun with, yeah.
Just looking at some of your photographs that you sent me of your sim, it looks like an amazing project that you've undertaken over the last year. Could you please let everybody know what launch monitor you are using?
I'm using a GC3. I initially started with a GC2, and I tried to acquire one of those. There was one on the other side of the country, so I shipped it in, and I got it home and set it up, and it didn't work. Oh. There was a ribbon, cable wasn't connected. So I'm very glad it didn't work, actually, because it gave me time to learn more about some of those products. And the GC3 was coming out the next month, so I just went, wait a second. For the cost of the GC2, I can get a GC3 and go from there. So
I'm quite intrigued by the GC3 myself, so I'm interested to know what you make of it.
It's a great product. It's good. It's really good. I love the parameters that it gives you. It allows you to address certain issues of your game. It's portable, and I can plug it in. I can just turn it around for a lefty and turn it around for the righty. I like it. I like the software suite that comes with it, the cameras. So you can, fitting software. It was... and a newer model. So with the 3 cameras, gave me some face data, where the GC2 only gave you ball data, which is fine. Okay, so that's why I went with that GC2. It just so happened that the GC3 was coming out, and it was a better decision.
So let's just talk a little bit about your sim room. Whereabouts is that based in relation to your home?
It's the garage. I started outside with a net, and you undercut a ball, and it kind of zips up over a fence and heads into the neighbor's yard, and you go, uh-oh. So after the third time, you go, this is not good, not good. So the wife mentioned, hey, why don't you take it inside? So that started the path. That was September of last year, and I started with some outdoor grass to get rid of the color of the concrete, and a Callaway hitting net, a little hitting strip as well too. We ended up getting some curtains, and we put the curtains around here. You can see them here. We put them around the area, and eventually you just start picking up more information, and I decided I'm going to build a net. So I grabbed a frame, an EMT, and I called a company called Global Industrial, and they had corners and connectors, and I built a 8 by 13, 8 feet high, 13 feet wide. Sorry, I don't know the meters. And it's a foot and a half 16 inches deep. I then covered that with a couple of pieces of 2 tarps and a painter's drop cloth, cotton painter's drop cloth. And then it just took off. And then it was, now I need a computer. Now I need a projector. So it exploded from there. I ended up doing the floor. Now the floor is 3/4 inch plywood, tongue and groove plywood with 1/4 inch vapor wrap that they put around homes, black corrugated wrap they put around homes. And then I put the outdoor carpeting back over, and then some hitting mats on top of that.
It's great, and I'm intrigued by your impact screen because, like you say, it's just a cotton painter's cloth, isn't it? But from the pictures that you've sent me, the I don't know if it's because of your projector or what, but it looks like an unbelievable picture that you're getting. What's it like to hit the ball into? Is it quiet?
It's like hitting into your pillow.
Really?
It's like hitting into your pillow. You can, yeah, it's really not bad. I mean, when I thought about it, when I saw people sagging projector screens, and people were talking about archery nets and all these other things, I just went, well, wait a second. Back in the olden days, they used to use cloth screens in the movie theaters and the picture shows. And I don't have 120 mile an hour balls or swing speed that I'm blasting the balls through anything. So if I keep it taut enough and wrap the cloth, drop cloth, I'm okay. You can see in the pictures that it's ripped at the bottom, but that's just where the seam is. So the next time when I replace it, I'll just flip it over the other side, and the seam will be up at the top. And
how have you got your impact screen hung? Sorry, mate.
No, it's okay. Well, you've used hooks and wire lines, and with this EMT frame that I had built, I was able to use just clamps. Just, you clamp them and just go along, black clamps. And I just put them along. And so if I needed a little tighter, I just pulled it along a little tighter and snapped it on. And, I would figure out how close they needed to be together to do what I needed to do. And it's not tight enough that the ball's going to trampoline back. There's enough slack in it where, and it's not rigidly attached that there's some give there. So eventually it'll start to just wear away. And I feel like Einstein. So it's great. I just think it's what they used to use in the old picture houses. I mean, they used to use a cloth screen to project things on, and then, a couple of tarps, get 3 tarps, get 4 tarps, whatever you need. I mean, I don't think we need to go crazy with a super duper reflective screen that just ends up warping of it because you're hitting the ball in the same spot all the time.
You've got an EMT frame. Is it just the top bar that's an EMT frame, or does it go all the way around?
It's actually a cage, so it goes 6 feet and then a connector, and then 6.5 connector, 6.5, and then there's a quarter piece. So I put another piece onto here and another, and I'm able to build this box. Yeah. And it's only 16 inches deep. And that is because in watching people build their simulators, what was their distance between their brick wall? Okay, so that's kind of what I used and went from there.
I'm also intrigued by how you've got such a lovely finish around the screen. Can you tell us how you managed to get that nice finish and there's not like curtains dangling over it and stuff?
That is the actual cloth pulled over and pulled around and wrapped around the bar and then clamped from the inside. So I just reach up under the screen, unclamp, and then get myself in back behind there and kind of pull the wrapping around the screen, and then I'm clamping it And if I need to pull it tighter, I pull it tighter.
Do you ever find if you hit like any high wedge shots that you might catch the top bar on your screen, or does that rarely happen?
That's proximity to the screen. So the farther you are away from the screen, your dynamic launch angle's going to go where it's good. But if you're not, I'm about 9 feet from my screen. 9 to 10. I can go farther. I can go 14 feet. But I'm about 9. So knowing if I've got a higher lofted club, I might want to just drop that ball a little closer to the screen.
What with the GC3, what's like the hitting area like? So I don't know too much about the Foresight products, to be honest, but obviously the GC3 sits next to your ball, and with the SkyTrack we have a little red laser dot to show you where to put it. With the Foresight stuff, I think it's like a little area that you can hit from, isn't it? Is it quite a large area, that, or is it quite a small one?
No, it's a good size area. I want to say off the top of my head, it's 18 by 12.
Right. Okay.
It could be a bit smaller, but yeah, it's okay. It will pick up the ball. It's very good at reading the ball. It's minimal mishits. No mishits, really.
Yeah.
So it really picks up the ball, and you can see it. You really have no problem. Based on your space, you have some room to move the ball back and forth, left and right, on your mat, and then you can then move on to that ball based on your conditions.
Kind of on the note of your mat, then, what kind of hitting mat have you got? Have you got a particular brand?
I want to say it's like Jeff World or Jeb World or something along those lines. It's an inch thick, and it's 5 by 4 by 6 sheet. They're about $200 at Golf Town, and they're not gonna. They last, but they don't last. I'm still trying to find a hitting mat, which is a whole different rabbit hole, as we know. Hitting mats are critical. They are critical in terms of the way that they treat your body. You're always whacking in on that, so you're trying to find something. So I like this is very cushioned. I can kind of chunk out a divot eventually. I'll show you. You'll see in the pictures how bad it gets eaten away at. But you're trying to find something that you can still swing. You're not pounding into the ground. So this is thick enough, and it's got give in it, and I'm able to come down on the ball and knock it a mile for eagle. Thinking big, Mitch. Thinking big.
Yes. I love that.
It's something that you're consuming, so you will go through strike mats depending on how many hits.
What projector do you have, David? What kind of projector are you using?
I bought a 1080p laser projector. So it's an Optima, and it's an ultra wide WUXGA. I'm just trying to look at it as a ZU510T. When you start looking at projectors, there's a lot of choices. I used projectorcentral.com, which really allowed me to take my dimensions. This is how far I am away from my screen. This is where I am height, whether I'm roof mounted or different mounted. Let me put in a lot of different parameters, and it gives you suggestions about projectors. So that's a very useful key piece in this. You need that calculator. Now this one I stumbled across on the forums. There was an ad in the forum, and East End Importers, and I got a hold of them, and I said, listen, I don't want to have to change the bulb every 900 hours or so, and I don't want to, I want to get some life on it. 4K right now when you look at the software, based how close I am to the screen, how big it is, 1080p is going to be fine for me as opposed to 4K. So
Yeah.
a lot of people get caught up in 4K, but you're so close to the screen to begin with that 1080p, you're going to be all right with 1080p. It's just get some bright lumens and you're all right. So they recommended this Optima after, asking him 17 different questions. Well, this says this and this says this, and he set me up. I haven't had a problem since, and it's wide and it's got the length, so it's the whole top of my screen, and it's what they put in a museum if they were going to, or an art gallery if they're going to just show something all day long. So it's got about 7 years apparently of life on the laser. So
Did it set you back a lot of money?
Yeah.
That laser projector.
well, the launch monitor, the projector, this beautiful computer back here, those 3 pieces, yeah, they cost some money. The projector did too, but I think over the life, I'm looking at 7 years, hopefully I'm going to get on this. So I think I'm good that way. And yeah, I did. It was cheaper than a 4K, those 4Ks, the BenQ, LQ, whatever it is. It's like $5,000 or something, 5-6.
Yeah.
It's less than, it was a lot less, half that really, and a little less more
good.
because, yeah. And that was the 1080p with the laser 1080p, with the ultra wide. And that's what people want to look for.
So moving on to your computer, you just touched upon it there. What graphics card are you running?
It's a GTX 3080.
What sim software do you use? Now, with the GC3, I'm assuming you've got access to the Foresight software, but do you just use that, or do you use any other software?
Well, the latest and greatest GSPro, and you can see your videos and see what GSPro has to offer, especially compared to the other software programs. Initially, TGC 2019 hooked me. I said, wow, what's this? And what, you can play it with a GC2? What, you can play it with a Skytrack? What, you can play it with a Garmin? It was great. So I started with 2019. The Foresight has a robust package, but then there's also GSPro. So GSPro, yeah, and people can look at your videos for reviews on GSPro. There's other things. Yeah, they don't pay me to talk about GSPro.
No, they don't pay me either, mate. I do wish they did.
I know. Foresight, they've just released Pebble Beach, and the water looks, it's incredible. Looks really, really good.
I was going to ask you about the
Fantastic.
Foresight software, and just to talk a little bit about it, because I literally know nothing about the Foresight software. So yeah, if you could fill us in on that, that'd be great.
Foresight software is fantastic. There is different software offerings from Foresight. They've got the FSX Pro, which is a fitting software, which gives you a range and allows you to track your clubs and allows you to track all the parameters from that club. So it's fantastic. If you wanted to fit somebody, you can do it with that software. It's great. There's FSX 2020, which has a robust set of camera features that you can. I have here, I've got my side on and my rear camera, and I'm able, in the software program, I'm able to view after the shot, my side view and my rear view, and I can see what I did. And also, it's graphically will show me. And it will then also break down where I've hit my ball and all my 8 or 19 parameters that are available to me. It'll present that. So that's fantastic right there. That immediate wow, my shot did that. Oh, I did. Oh, I was on the left. Look, oh, look how handsome I am. Whatever that is, that lets you get immediate feedback. They've just, and that's FSX 2020, and it's got a whole bunch of courses that come with that package. They've also released FSX Play. It's great. It's very immediate. You are right first person in that FSX Play software. So there's a perspective in GSPro. The perspective, it's got some space. You're really immersed in FSX Play, or in Play, FSX Play from from Foresight. You're really immersed in it. So check out some of those videos. You can see it's very first person. You're very immediate. It's great in terms of a contrast between, say, an E6 or something else. It's nice. It's different. It's unique. It's its own software thing, and I would recommend it. It's fun.
Do you use your simulator mainly for playing on courses, or do you use it mainly for practicing and improving your golf game, or is it a little bit of both?
It's a time waster. I waste my whole time there. This strike, hey, I'm working on that. That strike, hey, I'm working on this. I find I'll play something. I'm not really playing online yet. I've watched your tutorial video about the online tour. I haven't yet started to follow your steps to get into it, and I will. Discord, I've got it, but right now I end up finding that, I'll play around, and then part of that round it goes, hey, I want to work on that shot. I kind of will put in, a practice section. So if I'm ever in a spot where I'm playing through a round and I go, hey, I want to hit that. I really want to hit my 7-iron. I really want to hit my 6 right now. And I might end up staying on that part of the course. After beginning a round, I end up, hey, wait a second. I just want to hit this now. I don't feel like teeing up or doing it. So sometimes I'll end up practicing while I'm playing a game. And then other times it's usually on course. So I'll call up a course, and then I'll either play or I'll pick spots on different courses to break out my 5-iron.
And that's a cool thing about GSPro and obviously some other simulator softwares. They allow you to do that. You can choose to practice at the 7th on Pebble or the 17th at Sawgrass or wherever you want to drop a ball on a course. It's just a really cool feature that you can do, isn't it? So yeah, I'm with you there. It's nice to just drop a ball somewhere you want and try and knock it into a famous green somewhere.
The group behind you gets really mad when you do it on course. So,
You don't have to answer this question if you don't want, but I'm going to ask you how much, and you can just give me a ballpark figure if you wish, how much does your golf simulator setup cost you in total?
I don't know. It's the cost of a used car. A good used car, probably. I don't know. Right?
That's fine, mate.
The launch monitor. Yeah, well, the launch monitor, the GC3s, they're $10,000. That's the entry level for that accurate timepiece. And then when you add a computer in COVID with a hard to get graphical processor and then projectors, it gets up there. So you're looking about, I probably could have bought a quad.
I'm with you, mate. It's not a cheap hobby to have, is it? But I guess we're privileged enough that we can do this.
Mitch, you're right. You pay for what you get. It's a shame, and I know it's starting to get more accessible. You want to find different ways to do things, but you've got to get a good launch monitor and hopefully a projector that'll work and a computer. So there is you've got to get into the game. You can get it. You can get into the game like your video for $1,000. Bravo. I mean, that's great. I didn't have that luxury. So, well, I would have been out here alone. No one would have wanted to come to my janky golf simulator.
You've got to invest in your launch monitor for accuracy, really. You've got to invest in a computer to run the whole thing, and a decent projector as well. And you can, of course, do all three of those things on a budget, but depending on what your budget is, will ultimately determine which choices you go for.
Correct. I mean, you can get away without a projector, but you kind of want that. You want that projector. So hopefully, my screen idea, people can get some money. Be able to save some money that way.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure. I mean, one day this projector will be up for sale, so that'll be cheap.
Do you have a favorite thing in your golf simulator?
Next to me, I don't know. I like this guitar. I like my putter rack back here. That's fancy.
Yes, nice. Lots of putters.
But I'm happy for the air conditioner in the summer and the heater in the winter.
I'm guessing where you're from, you definitely need it in the winter.
Oh, Great White North. Good day.
What, if anything, would you like to improve in your sim?
A turf. I think I'd like the turf that you see them use at TXG or someplace like that. Where you're seeing these and they're just $7,000 piece of turf. Yours doesn't look too bad at all, mate. It's out. The hitting mats are great. I mean, but when you see them, when you see the simulators that they've got on TXG, and if you watch any of their videos, it's a certain quality. Their screens are a certain quality, and all their grasses that they're hitting on, their turf is a certain quality. Yeah. So that's the high end stuff. So if I can figure out what that is eventually.
Do you mean the hitting turf? Is that what you mean, or the decorative turf around the outside? Just maybe the hitting turf. Maybe just I don't know. I don't know what the other ones are like. I know what this is like. Yeah.
These 1-inch mats, and they get a certain thing, and I go, hey, what is this like? What is this like? So it'll all. That's just I don't need to change anything. I'm very happy with what I have. I mean, yeah, it's just.
Good for you, mate. Yeah. I'm glad that you're happy with what
very
you've
grateful.
got.
Well, I couldn't have done it without you, Mitch. Your videos were crucial and instrumental in your high, your low, your medium, your high end simulator videos. Watching those three, getting ideas, your simulator build, other people's. I wouldn't have been here at all without everybody else's work.
Yeah, I was the same. I mean, you've got to look to other people for some inspiration, haven't you? And I still do it now. I see setups like yours, and I see other people's setups that I've interviewed already on this little series, and they just look phenomenal, some of them. So you've always got something to aspire to, I think. Well, I do anyway, in my humble little setup.
Well, you take the space that you have, and then sometimes you're shoehorning a simulator into the area, and that's fine. That gives certain limitations, whatever that is. Maybe that's space. Maybe I can only do this to my screen. It makes no point in having this type of projector because I can only broadcast this wide or this high or whatever that is. So depends on what your situation is.
Now you've got a lovely launch monitor there already in the GC3. Do you have like a dream launch monitor that you would like to aspire to in the future, or are you quite happy with where you're at right now?
Yeah. Golf Zone.
Yeah. That would be a good one.
It turns all this stuff and yeah, but I'm not going to mention that in polite company. A Golf Zone, so.
Do you have a favorite course that you like to play on the sim?
I've been playing Castle Heights lately. That's beautiful. Predator Ridge, because it's in Canada. Cabot Cliffs is fun. Home of the Players, always. Sanctuary's fun. So many courses that you can play.
You've given me a few to go out there.
The Gauntlet. Yeah. Check Castle Heights. It's fun.
I will do. I've not heard of that one. I'm going to give that a go. One question that I'd like to ask you, David, is if you could give one tip to somebody who's just starting out with a golf simulator build or a golf simulator dream, what tip would you give them?
Just research. And then once you think you have a plan, then research all the pros and cons of whether it's I'm going to go with this launch monitor, whether it's I'm going to use this turf, whether this projector, this type of screen, this space. Just a lot of research, because I initially got a projector and I ended up taking it back because it didn't do what I wanted. I wanted it bigger, wider, and it was nice. It went like this, and had movies and all this stuff. But so just a lot of research, just research, be methodical. Don't rush into things like some of the things I did. A lot, the mistakes that can be made.
Yeah.
So
the research thing is a biggie, because I mean, for a lot of people, for most people, I would imagine, who are particularly doing a DIY style build, there's so much that you can kind of get wrong or you can misinterpret. So yeah, it's a massive deal. I mean, I did loads of research into mine, and I've got a very basic setup. But I kind of never stop researching. You read stuff, you look at other people's things, you speak to other people, and you kind of never stop learning with it, do you? So definitely do your research, do your homework, find out exactly what it is that you need, because it's not a cheap game that we're playing, is it? We've got to make sure that we do it sensibly.
Well, you don't want. You're right. You don't want to. So there's a lot there, and just how far do I need to be from the screen? How much room do I need for my backswing?
Yeah, I guess this is partly why I'm doing this series of videos as well, so people can put it on in the background and listen to what you and I have to say and other sim golfers have to say, and they can just learn stuff. They can pick up little hints, little tips, and hopefully it helps people out that are just starting out, or even helps people out that are a little bit more experienced sim golfers too.
If you didn't post your videos, I wouldn't be here.
So, David, do you have a favourite golfer at all?
I like the Squirrel Hunter, Cam Smith. I like, you got to watch Bryson DeChambeau. Sorry, they're all live golfers right now, but
yeah.
Some of the stuff that he does, his videos, his training. Martin Borgmeyer. Congratulations, Martin Borgmeyer, on your World Long Driving Championship 2022. Martin Borgmeyer, and then, Tiger Woods and Rory.
You got a few favourites.
Patrick Cantlay. Yeah, the serial killer Patrick Cantlay. Steely eyes, he keeps...
Right, I'm going to ask you this one. Now, you may not have any interest whatsoever, but I've been asking everybody who their favourite footballer is. And I'm talking football as in our lovely English soccer. So if you're not interested in it, you have no obligation to answer whatsoever. But I am intrigued.
Well, It's the Canadian footballer Alfonso Davies.
Oh, right. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And also, Qatar's coming, and Belgium, we're coming for you. We're coming for you, Belgium. So, yeah, it's going to be great. Really excited about that. The World Cup this year. Canada, go. Canada, go. Alfonso Davies.
Just want to say, honestly, thank you so much for coming on the show. You've given us some amazing insights there into not only your golf sim, but how other people could potentially build their golf sim and what they should look for and loads of other stuff. So thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate it.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me. I appreciate that. Like I said, I couldn't have done it without you. Like everybody else posting content on YouTube and
Good man. Thank you very much.
I'm not going to say hello or goodbye. I'm going to say 4 because it'll get your attention. 4.
If you've gained some valuable insight from this episode of Show Us Your Golf Simulator, then please hit that like button down below. And for more amazing tips and advice, then don't forget to subscribe to the Handicap Golf channel and check out this video on the screen right now.